So when Carter was diagnosed and he just started presenting like all these new symptoms that he didn't have before, losing his language and lights bothering him and loud noises bothering him, and mostly just he had so much anxiety because he couldn't communicate his needs or his fears. He couldn't ask me, like, Mom, when are you going to be back to get me? Or who's taking care of me? We just saw, putting him in the nursery at our church, we just saw, like, his anxiety skyrocket. And I always thought that it would get a lot better, with time, and he would get used to them and things would get better. And really, year after year, things didn't get better. They honestly got worse. And we weren't really prepared for that mentally, for his peers to just keep growing and adding skills, and there was just becoming, more and more of a gap for him. So I knew that moving up into the children's church with the elementary school kids wasn't going to work for him. And at the church that we were at, I actually had several just very sweet volunteers, people that worked with the kids and knew Carter, telling me, like, that's not going to work. He's not going to be able to handle that room. And so right at that moment, my anxiety levels began to rise with his. And so I kept praying, like, Lord, let something change. Let, something in him change. Let something in this church that we've been calling our church home for several years. Let something here change. Because I don't know what to do. We live very close to the Gateway campus, and so we pass it almost every day, and we had watched it, being built, and we had watched it. Driving to church every Sunday, we would pass it, and we talked about it several times, how I just kind of felt this drawing to it, and I had no idea why. I didn't know what kind of church it was, or literally anything about it whatsoever. I just would drive by, and I just wanted to be there. So when we made our little list, we had no idea that New Life had any kind of special needs program. And so I said, I want to go to that church, but I don't know why. And Brian said, well, do they have a program? Or, we don't want to go somewhere and just be in the exact same problem that we were. But then I saw that they were having the prophetic conference. And I had actually, for several months, been looking for a prophetic conference somewhere in the Southeast to go to. And I was, mentally preparing to drive out of state for that. And I saw, oh my gosh, there's one 5 minutes from my house. Like, I'm going to go. And it's at that church that I keep seeing. Like, I'm going to go there. So we go to the conference at New Life, and everyone is super friendly. Especially like in the childcare. I mean, they're just like so friendly and so accommodating. And I really just felt so at ease the whole weekend. And I just went, and at the end of the weekend, Pastor Anthony came up to talk to us. And I had no idea that he was the children's pastor. I just thought he was a super, super nice volunteer. But he begins to explain to me a program called First Class Friends. And he literally stood there, and as he was explaining First Class Friends to me, he was using the exact same words that I used in my prayers to God to describe exactly what I wanted for Carter. He was telling me, we have this here, and it's important to us, and we have a place for him. And
you just started crying.
And then I just started crying right there in the middle of the church. And we told him thank you, and we would fill out the paperwork, and we walked out and we said, this is it. Like, this is our church. And Like, we didn't even have to look. We didn't even start the process of looking, and God just put it in our lap, said, here you go. Like, here's exactly what you've been asking for. Ever since then, since that first Sunday, Carter, he gets so happy. Every time we pull into the parking lot, he's clapping and he's smiling and he jumps out of the car and he can't wait to go in. And I honestly feel the same way. Like, I just wake up so excited on Sundays because I know all of my children are being taken care of. And not only that, but the messages have just been so timely. They've just been like exactly what we needed to build our faith back up. And just when we're having a bad day about a specific thing, it's like we come here and that is exactly what's being preached about. Just like God is just shouting it like, hey, this is where you're meant to be. This is your home. And it has just been the best answered prayer to come here and to know that Carter is being taught every Sunday. He's never pushed to the side. The volunteers just have been phenomenal. I mean, they really are just blowing us away every week. And we can like serve now and not worry about, okay, are our kids safe? Are they okay? Like, we can just come here and be relaxed and get what we need and do whatever we want to do without being worried about, okay, are our kids going to be okay? It's just been amazing and one of just the best answered prayers.